Hey, 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 good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome to the Freedom Seekers Live TV episode 42. And I have a special guest today. Like I said last week, I have 3 Lisas in a row. And today I have a very lovely Lisa. She is going to talk about how you can find your spark and how you can shine and find your unique voice. She is an author. She's the founder of Glimmer Learning LLC. She's a TV host on a Win-Win Woman TV. I want to hear all about that. She's married and living the great life in Florida, and she loves to grill, but also to travel. And she's a best-selling author, but she's also a coach for entrepreneurs. So I think she has a lot on her plate that is very exciting to talk about. So I'm going to add her to the stream so she can tell you all about it. One moment. And there she is. Hi, Lisa. Good morning for you. How are you?
Hi, I'm great. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Wonderful. How's the weather in Florida? Is it hot and humid, or is it?
It's hot and humid. Yes, very, very humid. We're in the latter part of July and going into August, and that's when it is probably the hottest.
Okay, that's for me the time to avoid Florida then.
Oh yeah, don't come now. No, don't come now.
So Lisa, thank you for accepting the invitation. Like I said before, it's all about inspiration. I can only say so much. That is why I love to talk with you, amazing ladypreneurs, to maybe spark some ideas for women that maybe are on the fence to start something for themselves, or they are thinking, okay, what can I do with my life? I want something different. And that is why now almost, I think it's 101 conversation today. So in total since last year, May. So I'm excited to hear more about you. Can you tell us a little bit about Lisa before she became an entrepreneur? Who was she? Was she already entrepreneurial? Or tell us a bit about you.
Well, no, I was not an entrepreneur before. I'm always fascinated when I meet people who say that they've done nothing but, been an entrepreneur. And I always think, wow, that's so brave. But not me. No, I was, raised by my mom. She was a single mom pretty much most of my life. And my grandmother, and they watched them both work. And so I thought, well, that's what I'm supposed to do. Go get a job. And I got a job and started working my way up through corporate. And so I worked for corporate most of my life in learning and development. And I did, corporate training, and I really fell in love with learning and development and being, a corporate instructor and just kind of working with people and just really standing at the front of the room, sharing different things and teaching and just designing different things and ways to help people learn to be an elevated version of themselves.
Oh, wonderful. And but how did you then discover that could turn into a business? Is that something that fell on your plate, or how did you start? Because you have so many different things that you do. You are the founder of Glimmer Learning, so there I already heard a little bit how it started. But you are a TV host, you are an author. What came first?
Well, the Glimmer Learning came first. So I had been doing, a variety of things with, while I was in corporate. So I got into being I got certified as a master trainer. And then I was really fascinated because the world of learning and development was going virtual well before the pandemic. Years and years and years, things were online. And, once the internet hit and people, were all on the internet, that just kind of grew a whole different world for learning and development. And so as things became more and more available and accessible, I got fascinated by this whole idea of things being virtual and online courses. So I did later become virtually certified. So I became certified as a virtual facilitator, and that opened up a whole new path for me and how I saw things. And I later in my career in corporate, ended up being, operations manager for a remote team. And I worked with a whole entire team across the US remotely for a long time. So I did a lot of things virtually for a long, long time. And then I got into doing a lot of events in my corporate world and just a combination of things. So this led me down this path of, I helped a lot of people learn how to do things remotely and virtually, and however you want to, use that word. They're kind of interchangeable. And so I would support people who needed to kind of understand how to do things in this way. I had a lot of people ask me for support in that way. And then with my background as an instructional designer, it just kind of, lent itself together. And because I was helping people kind of on the side, I just kept helping and supporting people. And finally,
sorry if I may stop you a little bit. So you were still working in corporate, you got certified, and people started asking while you were still in corporate, and that is how it developed. Okay.
Yes. And so that's why I kind of was like, even though I was doing things on the side, and a lot of times I would help people for free, I saw this need, and then when the pandemic started, that was actually when I started my business. When the pandemic started, I saw that need of people just really basically, and I say this in the book, I say, I heard, I heard silence. I heard silence. People were basically just going silent, like, well, I can't do anything now. And I knew I could help them. And that was really what motivated me to start my business, along with my husband telling me, stop doing all this for free.
But that is the best way to start, because then you get credentials, then you get people talking about you in a way that they say, okay, that really helped me, so you can already show this to other people. So starting off without getting paid is, I think, maybe a great idea for some people to start. That is what I hear that a lot of coaches do. Okay, it was so natural to me to help them, and then it grew into a business. That's what you're telling for yourself also. Is that true? Okay. So I like the name Glimmer Learning. Where did that name come from? How did you?
Well, there's definitely a story behind that. I actually love sharing how I came about for the name of my business. I was dubbed Sunshine and Sparkles by my friends and coworkers for many, many years because of my personality. And at first I thought, well, gosh, I'm driving people crazy because I'm very bubbly. I'm very, I'm not necessarily an extrovert, but I come across that way as far as just how open I am and just how friendly I am. And so when I started my business, and I was like, well, what will I call my business? I went through an exercise, and I thought, well, I can't call it Sunshine and Sparkles, unless I'm going to open a car wash. That would be a great name for a car wash.
Yes.
So anybody out there who wants to name their car wash that, go ahead and steal it. But I was like, well, let's take this Sunshine and Sparkles and think about words that, are similar to that. And so I went down the whole, kind of list. And then finally it hit me, glimmer. I was like, glimmer. I love it. I love this glimmer. But what else? What else can I put with it? And then it just kind of came really fast, that learning, because I'm all about people learning to become an elevated version of themselves. And I knew, even though I wasn't quite sure exactly everything I would be doing, I knew that was going to be part of what I wanted to do when I was helping people and supporting them in finding their voice and helping them learn to share their message, or helping them learn to speak better in front of the camera. That was what it was all about. And so I paired the two together, and that's how it came.
Amazing. I love that story. That's a great one. So finding your unique voice, that is something that you just said, and that is very important. But a lot of people think they do not have something to say. They do not have something unique. Do you agree on that, or do you think that everybody has something unique to share?
I do believe everyone has something unique to share. I think we've all been through something. We've all had, we all have experiences. We have life experiences. Every day we're learning and growing as a human. And I think that we don't realize that each of these experiences, we just don't realize the significance of them. And that, a lot of times something that we've learned from, and even though we may think that it's so small, that it could be something very important that would help or serve someone else.
Yes. But how do you turn that into a business? Because that is a question that I hear a lot. I have something to say. I had some experiences in this or that, but how do I turn that into a business? How do I create something unique that people want to hear something from me?
Well, and I think that, you have to think about yourself, and that's part of what I learned too was, and a lot of people don't necessarily start a business that was something themselves that they went through. So I'm not saying that that's the case every single time, but in that case, if it is something that you went through and something that you want to share, it does start by sharing it, and if it is, seeing if it is resonating with others, and if it is something that is a pain point or a challenge or a struggle for others, knowing that you can serve them and support them and provide them guidance, that's where it begins. Now, learning all the other stuff about how to turn it into a business, now that's a whole different area that to me lends itself to, learning the business side of, well, what are the steps that I do to turn it into a business? But I believe it does start by sharing first, being a little vulnerable and finding out, well, is this something that other people, will help other people,
Yes, exactly. But the sharing part is important, and I think maybe Facebook is one of the most simplest way to start your journey by sharing, by posting about your experience, even though maybe you don't have in the how do I say it, a monetary idea behind it, because that is not always necessary. You can already help people by sharing how you went through something, how you solved the problem, or things around that. Is that what you mean by sharing it? Already putting it out on a platform, or on maybe through a blog or something like that?
There are many ways to be able to share your message, and Facebook is a way that a lot of people do it. It's about starting where you're comfortable. A lot of people aren't comfortable speaking, so they start by doing like what you suggested, a blog, and written word a lot of times is a lot more comfortable for people to be vulnerable, and they're able to be a little more expressive because they're not as nervous about their voice and saying things properly. So yes, blogs, a Facebook post, if you can, even a podcast where it's not going to be a visual podcast, but it's just going to be an audio podcast. So there, you're just speaking the words, and you can have a script ahead of time so that it is written out. There's so many ways to start sharing your voice and your message.
Something you freeze. Is it me? Yeah, are you back again? Can you still? Yeah, I hear you. You froze. I don't know if it's my connection or yours. So the last part I didn't hear. You said there is a lot of ways where you can start Like a podcast, you own an audio, so you have the written word, you can write everything down. Those are great tips, because many people are afraid to start with a live video or things like that. So a blog, start writing, so you get your exercise, you get better and better every time you write. Then maybe a podcast, that's a great idea. But how did you become a best-selling author? Because your book, if I'm not mistaken, is called Voices of the 21st Century. Is that correct?
Right. It's one of several. So there's a few voices of the 21st century, and they all have a different subtitle. So mine's Conscious Caring Women Who Make a Difference. And it's a collaborative book. So I was a little nervous about starting with just writing a book by myself. So I was very excited about being able to be part of a collaborative book. It was a wonderful experience with a great group of women. So 𝗙𝗲𝗄𝗏 is the president of Women Speakers Association, and she leads this every single year. They've done this collaborative book, and it's a community that comes together, and you don't have to be a member of the Women Speakers Association to do it. She just puts it together so that you get the experience to go through learning how to the writing process, how to market yourself, what you can do as far as how you can go out there after your book is published, and all of that. So it was wonderful to go through the experience. And then, of course, I met a lot of great women who were writing for the first time. And then, of course, some that had written before that supported us and helped us on our journey.
Oh, wonderful. What a great experience. But you're also a TV host.
Yes,
So,
yes.
when you...
that was something that I did not plan on doing at all, and I had a wonderful opportunity presented to me at the end of last year, and I thought about it for just a short time, and I met with Paula Fellingham, who is the founder of WIN Global Network, and she is a beautiful woman. She's been speaking across the globe for over 40 years, and she is just fabulous and has such a big heart. And she's been wanting to have a platform like this to reach women across the world for many, many years, and now it's come to fruition. So she's giving, this opportunity to women to be able to have, a TV show. And of course, we're allowed to do whatever we want on the show, and the show is ours. And so I thought, well, wouldn't this be the perfect way to have one place for my audience to find me, instead of, oh my goodness, I'm on Facebook, I'm here, I'm there. Of course, I'm still on social media, but this would be that one platform that I could say, hey, if you want to find me, here's where I'm at. I'm here every week. You can join me live, or you can watch the replay, whatever it is. And of course, a no-brainer, I can, repurpose the content. And it keeps me consistent as well at, always keeping up with fresh ideas. And what I also love that I did not originally plan on doing is I decided, you know what? I want to have other women join me so that I can offer my audience even more knowledge about mindset, speaking, communication, video strategies. So I love that twice a month I have beautiful women join me and share their expertise and knowledge, like you do. You have women on your shows to share their knowledge as well. So I love having a platform that I can share with others, and it's just been so fun doing it.
That's you have so many different things that you do. They are all a little bit aligned. It's all about learning and teaching a mindset, like you said. But to handle all those things, I imagine that you must have had your days that you say, okay, today is an off day. But how do you handle it? What are your 3 to 5 non-negotiables on a day to handle all this? Because for everything you have to prepare. And you can repurpose, like you say, but even though when you repurpose, it's not the copy and paste. It is, you have to work on it. What are your non-negotiables on a daily basis?
Well, I always make time in the morning for myself. So self-care is huge for just staying, alive and vibrant and energized, to keep focus. Because I will say in the beginning, I was like a squirrel. That's what I felt like. I was like everything was, running around in my head, and I didn't know what to focus on. And my self-care kind of got a little out of hand. I wasn't making it a priority. I would skip it sometimes, and not necessarily do everything that I would like to do. And so that's been something that I've said, no, that has to be a priority. So every morning I make time. It's not necessarily anything that's a long regimen, but every morning there's some form of some exercise in there, some type of silence or meditation, just to hone in on my thoughts. And I make time for myself. And then, of course, I'm always making sure before I end my day, as far as my work day, I always have what I'm going to be doing the next day planned out.
Okay.
That's very important, that I know already. So it's not, wasting time in the morning. What am I supposed to do today? That's already a given the day before. And usually it's, there's things on my calendar that's already been planned out, but those things can move. Those things could change. And maybe there's something that happened today that I didn't quite finish, and I do need to readjust something tomorrow. So I always want to close my day out feeling good about how the day went, and then looking at the next day and adjusting it just in case I need to, and feeling good that when I wake up the next day, I know exactly what I'm doing and I can just start. And then I always, Fridays are always Friday's kind of my flexible day. It's never a full day. And if I have anything to wrap up, that's kind of that wrap up day. But I leave Fridays open so that, if I don't have to work, then I'm not going to do anything, because I deserve that. And I think everybody deserves kind of it doesn't have to be the weekend, because weekends can get busy.
Yes.
Especially if you're a mom or someone that's taking care of your loved ones, or they can get very busy. So sometimes, to me, having a day that is a weekday where you're leaving some flexibility time in, I think that that's important.
Wow, those are some great tips. Do they also help you that when, because I imagine you have had your hurdles in your business all along the journey, does it also help you to become stronger, that when something comes on your path, that you have those things that you do every day that make you stronger to maybe overcome something maybe something bad habits, or something in business that is maybe a bit difficult? Do those how do you say it, those things that are almost automatic because it's everyday repetitive, is that something that that helps you go through days that are maybe off, or periods that are maybe off?
I think so. I think really taking care of myself has helped me get through things that maybe I, have been a little more resilient than in the past. Because, I will say, when I first started my business, I had a setback. I had to go and care for my grandmother. That was something that was very unplanned, and it was within months of starting my business. And that took a really big strain on me. And I was still working full time as well. So I was working full time, trying to start my business, caring for my grandmother. And that was when I let my self-care fall by the wayside. And that lesson alone is what, prioritized me understanding how important self-care was in my life and for my business to thrive. Because that now has been, pushing that up as a priority has been what has helped me to make it through things, those bad days, those hard days, those, days when you're like, especially when you're newer to your business, because my business is only a few years old,
Mm-hmm.
is to be able to wake up and feel like, if things aren't maybe going the way you think they should be going, or something happened and you had a setback, for you to be able to wake up and be like, it's okay, and it's a new day, and you keep going. That revitalization is necessary, and it's important for you to feel good and to be able to keep moving forward. So
yeah, that is so important, because especially we women, we say, I don't have the time. We are always nurturing the other people, but then comes a day that you have to take off time to be ill or to be burned out or whatever. So it's better to take care of that now, so you won't get to that. So self-care is not selfish. That's so absolutely true. Lisa, we are almost at the end of this wonderful conversation. What would you like to say to women, like I said in the beginning, that are maybe on the verge or maybe nervous? They know they have a pool, that they have something to share, but they are maybe afraid. What would you like to tell to them to maybe inspire them to do that next step?
Oh my goodness, I could say so much.
It's
But
fun, yes.
really, I would encourage them to really sit with themselves and to think about, if there's something inside that's compelling you, and you feel that, that's your first sign. That's truly your first sign that that feeling's not going to go away. And to think about the impact of you sharing what's inside you. And if that, if that could help one person, it could change someone's life. And that generally creates a ripple effect. And it could change another person's life and another person's life. But that feeling's not going to go away. And if you want to, think of yourself 5, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, still having that feeling. And then at that time, looking back and thinking, oh, what I made the wrong choice. Wouldn't you rather start now trying to figure out what those choices are and how you can go about it? And then one other just quick thing to say is, if you are thinking about doing this and taking that step, and you really do want to, I highly encourage you, think about making an investment of working with someone, a mentor, a coach. This is not easy, especially if you have started in that rigid environment of corporate, or being, defined at what you're doing. It's not an easy path, and having guidance from someone. And there's a lot of people out there, and it's hard to make that decision, but finding someone, because spending hours watching YouTube videos, reading books, and all of that, it's just going to discourage you, and you're still going to be left with that feeling in your heart of, I still am meant to share this, and I don't know how to do it. And I would hate that for anyone.
Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you for that. So, Lisa, as we are at the end of this conversation, where can people best reach out to you if they have questions or they want to talk to you about something? Where can they reach out to you?
Oh, well, I'm definitely all over social media. I am very friendly and very reachable. So Facebook or LinkedIn as Lisa Hannigan, Instagram as @GlimmerLearning. That's the name of my business. Just message me. I will respond. I'm easy to reach, and I love to connect with people. So reach out to me there.
I have the link to your Facebook in this description, so people can just click on it and then connect with you. Well, Lisa, thank you very, very much. I learned a lot, and I'm looking forward how in 1 year this all developed even bigger than it already did. So thank you very much for your time, and I wish you all the success.
Thank you.
So, ladies, wasn't she amazing? I learned a lot. When you have that pool, then really listen to it. And especially if you do not know how to start, like Lisa said, go looking for a coach, somebody that can help you, a mentor that can help you and find really how to start, or the things that are not going the way that you want, or you just don't know exactly what you want or how to start. Just reach out to a mentor, for example, to Lisa. Think about self-care, how self-care is important. If your cup is empty, then how can you serve other people? Plan for tomorrow. I think that is really a great tip, that you can start your day without worrying, what do I have to do, or what do you have to change? You already plan it the day before. And keep your workflow flexible. Plan, for example, nothing on a certain day in the week, so you can see if you want to wrap up some things, and the rest of the day you take care of yourself. So I hope you enjoyed this conversation as much as I did. On this next episode on Friday, I have 𝗙𝗏𝗃𝗗𝗗𝗗𝗏, like I said, Lisa number 3. So I'm excited for that conversation too. And if you have questions for Lisa Hannigan, then please reach out to her. Click on the link in this description and send her a little message. So for now, I wish you all the best. Have a great day, and I see you in the next live. Bye-bye.